Hey everyone, welcome to another episode 4 of the rebuild in our youth squad only challenge with Wrexham. This is going to be season 2. Season 1 was a very good season in terms of what we achieved, in terms of trying getting it into the playoffs, which we did. And we did pretty well in that aspect. Now, we need to develop and we want to try and get automatic promotion. That's my goal personally. But also, I want some of the youth to be really expanding this season. A lot of them would have had 1 or 2 seasons in this setup. But also, a lot of them should be coming through and progressing really well. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Yo, so here we are at the beginning of the season, and we've got a couple of issues. The issues being, we've got no spare right-back, and we only got 2 centre-backs left in this squad for me to use, and that is a bit of a worry for me. As you can see by here, I've just signed this guy on a free agent. He's 19 years old, 70 rated, so he'll be going into the squad, which is a good addition to this squad, simply because we need more players. I'm going to swap him by here, put him into the squad. I think he'd be a great addition to our team. Bit more of an all-round backing. There is a couple of free more agents I'm waiting for scouting for. Once we get them, I'll let you know and we can get them into the squad. But for me, the biggest issue is we need centre-backs. I have looked at our youth team, which I'll show you now. We haven't got no centre-backs available, which for me is a bit of an issue. That we're not producing centre-backs. We've got no defensive quarter, if I'm really honest. We've got a lot of centre midfielders, and we've got a lot of attacking threats. But for me, we need to focus now on centre-backs and more the back line. I was looking at potentially changing this guy to a centre-back, but for some reason it's not letting me. I don't know whether he's already got that position or not, but for some reason it's not letting me change this person into a centre-back. When you click on the guy by here, it doesn't give me the option for centre-back, and I think he would be a really good centre-back to have in the squad, as his defensive ability is actually quite high considering he's only 17 years old. So I may take the risk, if we can't get no one in on a free, to bring him into the squad to see if I can just put him as centre-back and I feel accepted position. But also, maybe if I need to put him into the first team to change him into that centre-back position. So, that's what we're looking at right now. Bear with me while I have a little look at the free agent situation, and we can go from there. So here we have it. We're at the end of July. We still got another month of transfer window yet. But I think we have done a lot of the deals now. I want to show you my squad so far. It's a very decent squad. Now, as you can see, it's all youth players. Our keeper is 22, but when we signed him, he was like 19, 20. And we brought in some very good young players. So our backline, 18. So you can see it just above the camera up by here, the very top right, underneath the player info. You can see their ages. So I'm just going to flick through as I speak now. We really have improved the team. In terms of not just on the pitch, but on the bench as well. We've got a decent squad. We still need to bring in 1 or 2 more like bench rotational players, which is fine. That will happen. That'll come quite quick. But yeah, so it is quite nice to see. We haven't got a big squad. We've got quite a small squad, but we are going to be using a lot of the youth in this squad. We have sold 1 or 2 of the older players. If I go to transfer history, if I go to my club, I'm going to go right from the bottom to see who we signed and who we've loaned out. So we've loaned a couple of people out, and that's just simply because they're very young, but they've got very good potential still. So we've loaned a couple of them out to sides that we know they'll get a few games. You know what I mean? We're not going to get people coming in who are going to be going out and playing first team football constantly. That's not the type of players that we've got available to do that, because they'll be playing for us. So they've been loaned out. We've also brought in a couple of free agents, simply because, again, we need more depth in players. And some of these were very good players for free as well. We've sold, as you can see, we sold a couple of players here. This is more of the older, I say older, some of them are 25 to 30. We had to sell him just because we needed some money in, but we also wanted to lower the age right down of the team, which we've managed to do pretty well, and I'm quite happy with the work we've done. So they're the ins and outs for us. Some very good pieces of business. Next now, we should be having a incoming of youth academy players. I'll show you our youth squad at the minute. We'll do it in from strikers. So we've got a couple of players who are young, but their potentials are really good. That's what I'm really happy about with a lot of this, is that the potentials are really, really good. And I don't see anything that's really shining out to me saying we need to worry about this. The only thing for me is that we haven't got many players who are ready to step up into the first team. And at the minute, that is a bit of an issue because I want to adapt and change players into certain players. And I can't do all of that simply because the game won't let me do it for some bizarre reason. Don't know why. But it is what it is. In terms of players like this, centre attacking midfielders, I don't play with a cam. So for me, this could be an issue. Could be something we could work on. Not an issue in terms of what I want from this team. In terms of I could release this player to potentially get a centre back, which is more of a priority at the moment. We're keeping the keeper in. He's our only keeper. He will not be leaving no matter what. Unless we get a bigger and better keeper in, which I doubt it. There is one or two players that I wouldn't mind switching about. I've been toying with the idea of this holding midfielder, promoting him, and then keeping him there, potentially moving him into a centre-back position, which, you know what? Why not? Why not give it a go? Let's promote this youth player, and then we're going to see if we can do it. Because I couldn't do it inside the youth setup. So let's hopefully now we can do it through here. So who was it? Chris Lewis. Is it Chris Lewis? Or Charlie Lewis, sorry. So if we go development tab, can I now put him as a centre-back? No. I don't know why it's not letting me put him as a centre-back. But hey, look. It is what it is, as they say. CDM centre-half. If we do it like that, potentially, he can adapt to that position, maybe. Learn that position. But he's something that we can keep on the bench, just in case. It's a good addition to the side for the more of the rotational side of it. But yeah, now we're going to skip ahead, and we should have our youth scout report come through, which is here. And let's open it up and have a little look. So again, just a gentle reminder, it has been a little while. Spain, we're looking for a right back, centre back, left back. This is my priority at the moment in Spain because I really need the centre backs to come through and more defenders. Next, then we have in England, we're looking for more of the centre of the park. And then in Portugal, then we're looking for more of the up front side of things. So let's review this to see how we've done and what we've got going on here. Again, I'm looking for potentials, and again, it's not great. It's not great. In fact, it's really, really bad. I don't think we got one player here that is good enough to go into our team straight away, or even develop in our academy. So that's a bit of a worry for me. I signed that person on accident, didn't I? Oh no. Well, I'll have to go back and unsign him. But hey, so we signed a defender on accident, which is a good thing, I guess. Now we move on to our centre midfielders. Leah. See, that's a big sign for me. 57 to 77 should be about 60 something. 16 years old, could potentially go straight into the team to be loaned out. So I'm thinking of that as well in terms of can he be loaned out potentially quite quickly. And we have got a 15-year-old here. His potential huge. The gap in between these potentials is ridiculous. I don't know why it's so big. Yeah. So it might be Bailey as a no. That's a potential, but there may be 13-year-old, but 74 max. 91 max, but it plays as a cam, so we don't want that. 15-year-old, potential's not great, no. So because he's 16 and he's 77, I might take the risk on signing him simply because he might, and this is where he might be able to produce. He might be something half decent, basically. And it might be worth keeping him. I want to release that guy as the guy I accidentally signed. And then we can sign this person. And we can have a little look at them now in just a second to see how they're doing and what their ratings are. You might have just seen it there, actually. But I didn't look. Again, we got a really good 15-year-old here. Personally, 70 is really, really good, actually. That could be a brilliant signing for us. If only we could do it without releasing anyone, but we can't, so we need to release someone, so we will have a little look, go through it. That striker, 17 years old, 69 to 59 rated. Personally, I'm going to reject. I want to keep him. I'm going to reject this person. I don't really need left wingers and right wingers, to be honest with you. We got so many of them. Again, these two are 15 years old. He hasn't great potential, so I'm going to reject. But this guy, I really want in our squad. So we're going to have a look at the squad now. Let's go back. What is he again? He's left winger / striker, depending on where he wants to play. And we can have a little look now. So who can you replace? We've got two left wingers of 14 but here. One of them's progressing better than the other. There you go. So that Leonardo, for instance, he was a 16 years old, but he's 63 rated. I may just promote straight to the youth, to the first team, get him loaned out while we're in the transfer window. So then we're able to sign this player who might need a bit more time in the youth development system. So that's how I'm working it. If I can sign someone who I think is good, but not quite good enough to stay in the youth system to be a special player, then I'll sign him, get rid of him, sell him, or either promote him and then loan him out, which I probably will do with this guy. So I'm going to go ahead now, skip across. Before I go, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the results we've had this month so far. It has only been friendlies, but it's nice to see how we're getting on. So here we have it. We are at the end of August, and we've done a lot of business in terms of getting people in throughout the last 2 months, but also getting the youth system up into the team that we want it to be. So as you can see, our first team, this is it. This is what we're working with. I'm not going to sign no one else coming in, and this is what we're working with. As you can see, it's a very good team all in all. We have just played a game. We've had some really good results, but we've also had some very bad, well, not bad results. We've had a draw, we've had one loss against a Premiership team. It is what it is when we move forward. I have strengthened a little bit in terms of the whole squad, in terms of making sure we got enough people available to carry on going forward. This guy, look, for me to sell a player, they wanted to give me a big chunk of cash and give me a player, so this is the reason why we've got this player. But he's a good rotational player just to keep on the reserves, just in case we need, if anything happens to Lewis and John, anything can be fixed quite easily with just a click of a button. He's 56 rated, he's not great, but hey, we move forward, so that's a good sign by there. Next then, I'm going to show you our youth academy. I have got a youth game to play in just a second with these players, so we're going to decide now which players we want to do this with. Again, we are always going to be playing a keeper because that is a requirement, but there is some really good potential players. As you can see, we're pushing into the 60s with a lot of these players coming up now soon. I'm still worried about this Nicholas, but we've only just signed him in terms of potential wise. And then the highest potential player are these players. It's normally the younger players, because for them to get their potential, for them to get to the best, they need a high potential. So the game will always give younger players higher potential, and it's your job in this youth system to play them to make sure they hit that potential. Because the only way this potential will either go down or up is by either you play them or you don't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a lot of these players in our youth team squad or youth cup games. So we're going to keep the left back, which is our favourite left back, and is definitely going to be a player of ours soon, hopefully. He's 16 now, so he's pushing on to 18 soon, so we need to get him up and running. So he will be playing. We'll be playing our keeper as well, simply because we need a keeper. That gives up 3 more spaces, and I'm going to be playing the top 3. So we're going to be playing Cora, what do you want to call it? Pedro, I'm going to call him. We're going to be playing Phillips. And we're going to be playing PS. These are the ones that we're going to be playing. They're young, they're up and coming, but we've also got the support then of the more older, more experienced players in terms of the left back and the keeper. So that's who I'm going to be playing in the Youth Cup, and I will be showing you the final of that in just a second as well. So at the end of the transfer window, this is who we bought in, sold out, etc, etc. We're going to go right down to the bottom, and I'm going to show you what we have brought in. We've done a couple of loans out, which is good for the team, good for the progression of the team as well. Hopefully these players can come back, and even if they gain 2, 3, 4 overall, that is a brilliant success. And we can keep an eye on that as well in our menu as well. We have signed a couple of free agents as well, but here again, these are just players that we required. Again, a lot of these are centre backs. It's a keeper in there as well. We had to get these players in simply because we just didn't have them in our youth squad, and that's the reason why. We have sold a couple of players by here, 1.2 million. That's a player that we signed last year, I think, which was quite cheap, I believe. We signed him definitely under $1 million. No way we would have spent more than $1 million. And we've got rid of a couple of players, making a huge amount of profits, which is good. And again, giving space to them youngsters who need to be playing at our club. So that is what we've done. That is how it looks at the end of the transfer window. There will be no more signings. This is it now. We are relying on a youth team. If anything happens to injuries and we don't have replacements. And also, in the January transfer window, we want to try and get them youth players out of our club and out on loan as quick as we can to progress their ability. So, without further ado, I'm going to go and play the Youth Cup final, and then after that, we are going to go and have a little look at our youth prodigies that are coming through from our scouting network. So, here we have it. We're in the final against Oxford, and let's give it a go. So, the team's been playing really well, really good balance between the different positions. I'm actually quite enjoying these players, to be fair. Play quite well with each other, which is nice to see. Nice to see. Sorry about the squeaky chair as well. I don't know why it's so squeaky, but yeah. WD-40 is required. I think I need a new chair, actually, thinking about it, but hey. So, yeah. Gee, these are... After these... You know what, right? We've always faced Oxford at some point in this tournament. And it's normally towards the end of the tournament. So I would love to go back, actually, and have a little look, see who's the most we played against. I'm pretty sure it's Oxford. That guy can only use his left foot, obviously. And again, the squeaky chair is kicking in. But, yeah, we try and move. We need to work on that guy's right foot. But, hey, that's something we can work on in training. Nice little press up the top. I need to higher that. I keep saying I need to higher the level difficulty of this, but oh god, that's a terrible shot, Alex. That was horrific, mate. But saying that, do we really need to up the difficulty? I don't think so. I don't think so, personally. Oh no. Press up. It's gotta be offside. Oh, it wouldn't have been offside because I hit it. Play it wide. Play the ball inside quickly. Can we hit the gap? No. That was bad play on my end. In my head, it worked. On the game, it just didn't work. Oh, we're on for a break. It's a 3v2. Oh no, it's not, because they've all left me to die. Here we go. We've gone in. Nice little goal there. And I think now are we 2 up? Oh god, that's a terrible pass from them. Curler outside. Ooh, it's worth a go. I like the finesse shot in this game. It seems quite OP at the moment. We should be able to win this header. Oh my god, we didn't. He's our best header as well in this team, which is a bit of a worry. I think I'll play on the floor from now on. As I chip the ball up again. But, yeah. These players are pretty good. Don't forget now, we've got our keeper and Brown by here, who's the older. The rest are all 14 and 15. The rest are all older. This guy's got no legs. Oh, there you go, as he just belts one in the top corner. Pierce is our right winger or left winger. I can't remember what he is now. He's our winger. Where we have... Oh, here we go, got the ball. Phillips then is our centre midfielder, I believe. And then Brown's obviously our left back. And then we got Course, which is our centre midfielder. So, there we go. Nice little balance. Actually, Phillips is our striker, I think, actually. I can't remember the positions. And unfortunately, you can't choose where they play. They just all play in really weird positions. Oh, that's a great ball. That is a great ball across the face of goal. Great finish as well to make the keeper dive the other way, which is natural body angle would normally do. Don't forget, after this game, we have got our next batch of youth players coming in. Hopefully they're a bit better than the other ones, because the other ones were really not great. I still haven't found like a proper mega world superstar where they come in at like 70 rated and they got a potential of 91 to 94. We haven't seen any of them yet. Which is good, because I don't think it should be that easy to get one. Where before it was quite easy to get one. If you scouted long enough with the best scouts in the older one, you would definitely find one at some point, whether you notice it or not. But I think we've been pretty consistent in what we're trying to find. And we haven't found a lot of top quality, top 10%... world class, I mean like proper world class up there with Ronaldo and Messi style players. Also, regeneration program. After season 1, there wasn't many regens that were like absolutely insane coming up, which was nice to see. But then again, it's only season 1. I think season 2 and season 3 will have more of them coming up on retirements and free agents. So we keep an eye out on that. That is this Dunno 6-0 against Oxford, nice and easy. Good match ratings all around. You can't see the keeper one, but he had a 7.6 with making 2 saves, which is pretty cool. Everyone else is a 10. Really good numbers across the board. So next up now is actually keeping an eye out for our scout report, which will be up next. So our scout report has now come in. This player, I don't know what's going on. This is a little glitch, I believe. We have actually signed him. He's that 18-year-old striker that we got on a swap deal. But for some reason, it's showing up here that he's not actually signed for us. So I will have a little look at that to see how to get rid of this. But at the moment, I don't think we can. Same as these scout reports. When I click on him, it doesn't tell me who these scout reports are with. And when you click on him, we don't have the ability of doing that. So we're going to swiftly move on. We also have the scout report back for our youth players. So let's go and take a little look at this. And again, first things first, we're going to have a little look at our priority, which is a good centre back if we can. And again, it's not great. He's okay. 94 to 70 rated. Again, it's not great out. I'm pretty worried about this because it doesn't seem like we're getting the greatest players coming through. It might be worth us potentially having a little look at switching this up and switching regions, because Spain is not great at the moment. I don't know why I didn't go Italy. Italy are known for their defenders and defensive style of football. 70 to 74 rated, 36 to 50. I'm going to reject. I just don't think he's good enough for us at our level. And we're not exactly at a peak, pinnacle high level. So that's a bit of a worry to me. Again, we've got some really good players here, potential, which could be really good for us. The problem is the ranges are huge. Absolutely huge on these. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be on FC25. The ranges are potential to the ranges of their actual overall is really, really high. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to reject this guy because he's not great. We're going to reject Wilson, I think. Yeah, we're going to reject him. We're going to reject Woodward. being a United fan, that always gives me PTSD when you hear that name. Cool. We're going to get rid of as well. We are going to sign Kai Taylor, I think. So whether we sign this guy, 92, we'll have a little look. But a centre midfielder, a cam. He is a cam, so we can potentially look up moving him or something like that. But it depends on his overall. We're going to go and have a look at our youth squad to see if there's anybody we are worried about or got issues with in this setup at the moment. So we're going to have a little look at their potentials. We're going to go highest to lowest. And there is nothing that, which is good. That's good, because there was at one point this guy was below 70. So now he's gone up to 71 to 91, which is good. It's progression. I like that. We've got a lot of people here with great potential. So I need to have a little look now, and I'll come back to you in just a second on who we should potentially let go and who we should keep. So I'm going to make a decision now, and I'm going to look at one of these wingers, potentially to replace him. We've got 4 left wingers, which I think is a bit excessive. And we need to look at the potentials of each one of these. For me, I can't get rid of the right wing and the right-footed left winger. I'm probably going to look at more getting rid of someone who's 16 rather than someone who's not. So for me, I'm potentially going to be looking at releasing this geezer. I don't want to, but unfortunately, he's potentially the worst out of a very good bunch. So I'm going to release the player. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a little look if this Carter is any decent. So I'm going to sign Carter. And then I'm going to have a little look. If he's not decent, then I will be removing him. See, 64 rated centre midfielder. So for me, I'm going to promote him straight to the team. Okay, so I'm going to promote him, and then that gives me an extra player now that I could potentially sell in the future. And then I'm going to sign Kai Taylor, and hopefully this is how it's going to go. What I'm going to decide as well, I'm actually going to have a little look at other positions and change all this around. I know we haven't done a full 9 months, but I'm not happy with what I'm searching for at the moment, so I will be changing things about. Finally, let's have a little look at these potentials by here. Again, nothing really great, and nothing really worth me shouting about, to be honest with you. Potentially him, but I think I've got better in the squad that I've got at the moment. Good way to have a little look now with this centre attacking midfielder, see how he looks in the squad. And it's a 61 rated player. So we can have a look at developing him into something else as well. We don't play with a cam, so it'll be interesting to see how he'll look at playing in a different position. So we can have a little look at growing him in general. But he looks a decent player, to be fair. He looks a decent player. I'm happy with the signing. I will not be signing any of these players, so I'm going to reject them all. I don't think they're good enough, personally, for us, and it's time to let them go. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to withdraw all, recall all these, recall, and recall, and then we're going to have a little look at changing what they're going to be doing, where they're going to be going, and looking for more specific styles of positions for what's best for us. So keep an eye out, and we'll be back when these scouts have returned. So that is the end of episode 4, and again, like we said, we are withdrawing the scouts, and we're going to be setting up new scouting missions, and then carrying on with the mission to succeed in winning the league. Hopefully, you never know what could happen. But that is the end of this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share with a friend. Thanks so much once again. Take care, much love. Peace.